So today I got an email from one of my insurance companies talking about the Fed and some of the comments that they've made on the asset bubbles and what they're trying to keep an eye on. So asset bubbles on the Fed's radar. So I wanted to kind of address some of the things in here because I think it's important information, but at the same time, I think it's one of those situations where I'm not very happy with what the Fed is, what their approach to this. So let's walk through this here really quickly. The Federal Reserve announced Wednesday that it will soon begin selling its 14.2 billion corporate bond portfolio. What's that mean? That means they're adding more debt. Well, what's all this stimulus packages? What's all this money been? Well, isn't there plenty of money in the market, which is what we were just talking about last week and the week before? Inflation numbers are skyrocketing. Okay, the Fed's goal is 2% inflation, and we're talking about 4.8, and some numbers are 6.2 from an inflation perspective in 1 month. Okay, so now we're going to look at putting another 14.2 billion, which is right. Was surprising in light of recent Fed communication. During his April Federal Open Market Committee, the press conference, Fed Chair Jerome Powell emphasized the need to see a substantial further progress on its dual mandate goals before even discussing balance sheet reduction. Discussing balance sheet reduction. What's that mean? There's too much cash, there's too much debt. So he's not even looking to have a conversation about reducing that. Okay? While Fed officials claim the sales are unrelated to monetary policy, what are you talking about? Of course it's related to monetary policy. Why else would you sell corporate bonds? What's the point? It's corporate bonds are generating cash for the government because there's not enough tax revenue to pay for their spending. So they have to sell corporate bonds, debt, to get more money. Corporate purchasers were a critical part of its expanded monetary policy toolkit to maintain the flow of credit and financial stability during the height of the coronavirus crisis. Were they? Well, yeah, that's what you're doing. Is you flooded the market with a bunch of debt. You now are giving away dollars like crazy, and now you're saying you're going to put more debt on it. I don't know. To me, it just seems a little contradicting. It seems a little just not appropriate. Timing of the announcement Wednesday, a day when so-called meme stocks were once again surging in frenzy trading activity, may not have been a coincidence. Fair Chairman has been willing to tolerate things in the capital markets that are being a bit frothy. But trading activity in many of the meme names has moved beyond that level. The Fed's balancing act to begin tapering bond purchases without creating excessive financial markets volatility will be even more challenging if bubble-like market behavior continues to build. I don't know about you, but I think it's extremely irresponsible of what the Fed's doing. But what do they care? To me, it really does feel like they just don't care. When we're talking about inflation, we're talking about, you have people like Warren Buffett saying that the marketplace is accepting higher prices. No, we're required to pay higher prices. Why? Because the government shut down the supply chains. And so now we have a glut in supply chains, so we have more demand, less supplies. It's basic economics. And now you're talking about flooding the market with more money. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And so I'm just concerned by what actions are being here, saying that corporate bonds is not part of monetary policy. It really is. And so I'm just curious. I'm wondering what's going to happen here. This is my opinion, right? I'm not giving any financial advice or anything here. It's just my opinion. From one business owner to another, a bit teed off with what's going on. So again, why we focus on these areas is when you're building out a plan, here's laws and regulations, decisions being made for us that we're held accountable for, right? Right or wrong, that's the bottom line. So what do we do in response to this? I think that's the big question.